DSG is over here. Some guy's clearing vision. Someone's looking to run. Someone's looking to engage. Someone wants to go bot lane.
Yeah.
And it just feels like they're struggling to get on the same page. And if you go up against a team that is very decisive with a lot of engage tools, and you are having that kind of game, you're just not going to have a chance.
All right, we're into draft for game number 3. Let's see what Disguised has cooking. The C9 fans are eating good so far this split, I think. As once more, we've got the same draft setup that we did in game number 2, where Disguised have elected for last pick. Team Liquid has elected for the blue side. That means the draft makes sense based on how we normally imagine it to be. There's no shenanigans going on. We will have the Varus, the Jarvan, and the Akali banned out by Team Liquid. Meanwhile, Victor, Renekton, and Nocturne banned out by DSG.
And two big champions I'm immediately noticing are both in the mid lane with Azir and Orianna, both up to be able to trade for either team. Definitely, I think, why we see that Nocturne ban coming out. So if TL do want to first pick that Orianna for QUID, they won't then have to deal with the Nocturne Orianna combination. But we see the Pantheon is actually going to be coming out for Josedeodo.
I mean, it is kind of funny because these days, basically, like mid-jungle, I was talking about this on the dive, but there's either 1 or 0 for each role, depending on the role, AP or AD champions in those roles. So essentially, Yeon is the only champion in the top 20 pro picks in mid lane.
Yeah.
And if you want to count like Sejuani or whatever for jungle, there's like champions like that, but basically you have to go down to Diana for someone who's like actually stacking AP. So really every game essentially becomes you're just tier list drafting the AD junglers and the AP control mages. And like that is kind of where we are at right now in Pro League of Legends. And as you can see, Xin is gone, Vi is gone, Trundle is gone, Wukong is gone, Jarvan is banned, Nocturne is banned. All right, well, now it's time to go down to Pantheon, and maybe, you know, if you want to splash in like a Zehen or like a whatever, you know, like it's really what League of Legends is right now. And this is probably going to be an Aatrox jungle, could also be top, of course, but that is another one of those, if you're just kind of tier listing down, all the ones that haven't already been banned out.
All right, Team Liquid, what are we going to cook up? I also am just going to put a tiny little asterisk. I know that Enchanters are back and everything, but CoreJJ has historically been one of our supports who will play a Pantheon support. So I'm going to say there's always a possibility it's a flex.
That is true.
I've seen Kangas play some Pantheon support, and if I'm going to be judging it off of that, it's looking pretty weak right now. It needs some buffs.
There might be a slight difference between CoreJJ and Kangas.
That's not fair?
Sorry, Kangas, if you're watching from home.
No, we love you. As expected, though, we see the Azir coming out of QUID. Azir is a monster to me just because he fits in so many compositions. If you're ever wondering, is Azir ever going to fall out of pro play? The answer is pretty much no, unless they absolutely gut him and make him unavailable for solo queue as well. And we see the Gnar hover.
Locked it straight away, okay.
Now, this is where I would love, if you can actually swap that Aatrox to jungle, if Kara is comfortable playing it, then Castle could try to go for something a little bit more spicy in the top lane. You could try to look for some counter picks.
Yep.
Like Ignite Kennen is what immediately came to mind for me. Jace is another good one. There are some different matchups you can go, but I feel like, hey, you just got stomped in 2 games. Counter pick for your lane, play a combat summoner, see if you can blow the game open. It is going to be Jax, which I think is fine. I don't really see this as a lane counter, but it is something that outscales and definitely has potential to put pressure on Gnar.
Also something that we just know Castle is super comfortable with, right? So in these situations, a lot of times they're probably just asking him what he's comfortable with, and they end up with the Jax. So we'll see how he'll be able to pilot that. I do think, as the sung hero of DSG
tales
thus
are
far,
written about him.
Exactly, some tales. The big thing, difference maker that has been in team fights when he is able to find kind of these really interesting flanks. We've seen him do well on the Jax. I still remember that Aurora triple kill he had in Topside River during their last outing. So we'll see how he can contribute here. Once again, Ashe taken off the table. DSG do not want to go up against that Ashe Seraphine lane, and Ezreal removed for TL.
I think we're kind of now into the territory of you're either going Jhin and playing supportive, or you're going hyper carry and doing like Aphelios, Lulu, you know, Jinx, those kind of things. So that's kind of, I think, where we're at in the AD carry tier list right now. You can also go Sivir as far as, you know, those hyper carries are concerned. So I'm going to be interested to see if TL wants to continue squeezing that pool and where they will go.
Xayah banned out here by Disguised, wants to get rid of that AD carry with the powerful self-peel, right? That defensive ultimate that can save her from the Aatrox and the Jax when they try to dogpile in. Right now, I'm also looking at disguised comp, and I'm not seeing a whole ton of engage. I feel like the remaining picks, obviously one of them has to be a marksman, so the support, I think you're going to need some stronger engage potential if you really want to be able to make plays against Team Liquid.
Yeah, and as we see this Smolder hover coming out of Sajed, another really interesting thing is that Callme is now off the ban list if they want to go some sort of Enchanter pushing lane, and Lulu is available. Again, we've been so heavily bot lane focused, and that's going to continue here with the Lucian locked in for Sajed, and my assumption is going to be, based on what TL pick, they're going to adjust their Enchanter on that.
Yeah, I mean, you can do Enchanter. Obviously, Nami was already played earlier because of that pairing, but so you could do things, common pairings like Melio, like Braum are good. But I kind of agree with Flowers that they're pretty light on engage, so maybe you just kind of like slam down the Alistar and you still, do something like that, even if it is a weaker lane, just to try to enable their engage. And I think on the other side, we probably are going to get like Aphelios Lulu or something along those lines. Aphelios Melio would also be cool because it could be a denial pick from the other side. So this is kind of where we are at with the picks that are up and available. The engage is not going to be great on the CL side either. It's like a flash stun from a Pantheon or a flank from a Gnar. Azir obviously does have the potential to start fights up too. So both teams will be a little bit light on engage, but generally when that happens, range kind of becomes king, right? It's who can poke and prod and force the other team to do something, force them to react. And right now, based on what we're seeing, I feel like that is more in TL's favor. Yeah, especially with the Azir and then the Aphelios Lulu coming out of this bot lane. It does make it so much more dangerous if they do feel like they need engage and want to pick that Alistar. That's going to be a really, really rough initial lane, but no, they're actually going the Rell in as their engager. I mean, Rell, you can pop Lulu shields. That's always kind of nice. You do have some good AoE engage. I really felt like their comp needed it, especially if you're going to be playing alongside Orianna. Sure, the Jax could try to get it in there, but Rell is a way more effective ball delivery system in most cases. So I do think, did they get much out of this like fifth pick counter pick? No. I think you could have been blinding the Rell and you would have kind of ended up in a similar situation. Excuse me as I stumble over my words. But I think that they had to kind of do it for their composition.
And I feel like this also goes hand in hand with what we were talking about, how Disguise doesn't seem like they've all been on the same page so far in this series, particularly compared to their opponents who seem much more coordinated. If you don't have that solid engage, those mistakes, those discombobulations are going to be that much more apparent, right? If we just have the one big go button, okay, strap the ball to Rell's head, Cinder in there, right? Like that's how you're going to get everybody on the same page. You have a very clear, very telegraphed, hey, we are going in, and I feel like Disguised have got to be coordinated if they want to keep this series going. And by contrast, although we did talk about kind of a slight lack of engage on TL side, they still do have a lot of tools where they can coordinate and kind of stack some sort of CC potential with the Gnar, like you talked about, Azael, with the Azir shuffle. So if they are able to set up team fights well, they'll have the range advantage with the poke, and then they'll be able to set up engages. Plus, you can also do the cool thing where Azir makes the wall of soldiers, Gnar slams everybody into the wall of soldiers. A little bit of wombo combo fun there if they get the timing down right. But we're on to the Rift for the third time today. Runes on your screen. Nothing really super surprising here. I am curious how well the jungle Aatrox is going to be able to do. Isaac, you were talking about how the tier list just kind of work. You go down them. A lot of the junglers have already been picked.
The next best AD jungler.
And that just happens to be Aatrox this time around. So mid lane as well, QUID, we saw him playing so aggressive in the previous game on the Ahri. Obviously, Azir is not going to be quite that level of aggro, but I still do want to see him continue to play in the faces of his opponents.
I will say it's kind of cool. Obviously, Cryer doesn't have a ton of competitive experience, but it is his first ever Aatrox game in competitive play. And Aatrox, I do think, is a champion that takes some games. You really do kind of have to know the limits, because on these drain tank style champions, you have to know how far you can go, right? How much you can push the limit. So it takes a lot of experience as far as that is concerned, and then just getting really comfortable with the EQs, making sure you're placing those well, like all the timings on how to actually duel, and knowing your limits in the 5v5s.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can potentially pull it off, because I think talking about, again, the way this DSG roster was constructed, Cryer coming on, the fact that they continued scrimming with him even when Kisno was the one who was here and he was still playing from Canada, I think this is a really interesting angle for him to be able to pop off, considering how much they've relied on him, not even as a carry, but also as a facilitator.
Okay, tri-lane cam is on, and it's a fast path towards bottom lane for Josedeodo. Level 3 on this Pantheon, looking to maybe set up a dive. This is a massive wave that's about to crash into the turret. Sajed is still only level 1. The Pantheon jumps in, and there's your first blood over to Team Liquid. That is an absolute disaster for DSG in the bottom lane.
Thank you, Josedeodo, for giving me my early jungle gank. We got it. Finally, really, really nice recognition that with this bot lane being as shoved in as it was. We talked about the pushing power, especially of the Lulu here. So really, really nice wraparound gank.
It's 19-2 in bottom lane minions. To 2.
That's why I was going to say, I kind of almost want to like see how it went so bad. Like, what was the trade that went that horrible? Was it just, you know, them going a little bit too far and getting slowed down and chased down, or kind of what happened? Because usually for those types of HP advantages to happen, it's like someone overextends.
Maybe even though Aatrox comes, you can one-shot it.
Barrier, okay?
Kisno,
No heal.
What do you think? Yeah.
I'll go.
I can start tanking. I drop.
Back up.
Back up.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean, that was easy, but Morgan, yeah, I mean, that dive just looks so easy, right? You know, to me, it's like, the interesting part of that is kind of how they got that low, and I was watching some of the other lanes more for the trading there when we were in the tri-lane cam, but, you know, Yeon not even having to use Ghost to trade down and get a big trade or anything like that. That's rough. I mean, when you're going up against Aphelios Lulu, it never gets better. It's these champions scale to infinity, so there's no like, all right, we'll just scale, guys.
Yeah, just play safe, fellas. It's a problem down here in bottom lane, and the problems continue. Lyonz down to 200 HP. Yeon chasing after him with the Gravitum. CoreJJ making sure that his AD carry can make this pursuit go all the way underneath the turret. So much damage onto both of them. Disguised bottom laners both have to flash away and barely survive.
I mean, that is horrible. And now you have Infernum, so you're just going to be able to fast shove the wave and crash it. So you're going to be able to deny some of these minions here also. And that is just ghost traded for 2 flashes. So, and then when you have no flashes, it's not even like you can hope for the bailout of a gank, because this is Aatrox. Aatrox needs some setup. Aatrox can't just like run in and one-shot them, right? Like, you need to have the Rell to be able to set something up. So this is looking dire. I'm not going to lie. Dire already for DSG. Their bot lane is basically out of the game.
Plus, Josedeodo's on Pantheon with a point-and-click stun. No flashes to get out of the range before he can make that happen. Guarantees that if he wants to show up again, they're going to have the tools to make a play and continue trying to just steamroll this game through bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see, again, how well this TL bot lane is performing. We talk about the power of them and how good they've been in the past, and how good they've been in scrims. Everyone says they've just absolutely been crushing it. Here, I was wondering if Jose was going to go for something here. With Callme pushed up.
It's easy spotted on the ward to realize, you know what, just going to back it up. Not really much anything there.
Yeah, QUID also not quite level 6 here on the Azir. Usually you'll see them go in and try to immediately ult the Orianna as soon as they get the chance. Lyonz and Sajed back down in the bottom lane yet again, and it's just another stacked up wave that Yeon will be able to farm all of. Will not miss any of that CS, as Callme's now in some danger. Flash stun coming out from Josedeodo. Needs a little bit more damage to secure the kill. Comet Spear, nope. Didn't end up actually throwing it.
Honestly, at the end of the day, pretty nice. He just used the Aegis Assault for the little burst of move speed, gets in close, flash, stun, and it is just a trade of flashes at the end of the day. But now QUID has flash, so you could look for a repeat gank, especially when Jose gets 6, where it's easy to set that up for the Azir, sweep him back in with your flash, have the Pantheon all come in.
Yeah, the thing is about hitting level 6 for Jose, though, because he has been spam ganking so much, he is behind Kryra in terms of the pacing, in terms of the EXP. Kryra going to take the opportunity, go for this first Drake. Unfortunately, it is a Chem Drake. Usually not going to be the strongest early on or ever. But you get it out of the way, you grab an objective, which is honestly a relief considering how bad bottom lane has been going so far. To be able to take the first Drake is, you're wiping the sweat off your forehead a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually huge because you don't give away that early Drake stacking to TL, especially when this bot lane has had so much pressure on this bot side as we see them shoving another wave towards that turret. Was it you, Flowers, who said that Chem Drake is so stinky, that's why no one wants to take it?
That sounds like something I would say. That sounds like some logic behind it, as Team Liquid pushing up in the bottom lane here yet again. Morgan goes Mega Gnar topside, forcing the flash out of castle in response. So now both top laners without their flashes. CoreJJ putting the deep ward here next to the enemy Gromp as the big wave crashes into the turret. Sajed and Lyonz at least not going to get dove on this one, so Sajed should be able to pick up most of this farm, but the pressure just remains so constant. It's still 55 to 35 in the bottom lane CS.
Yeah, and don't allow bot lane being cooked to distract you from the fact that top lane is also looking kind of cooked. he was down 20 CS at one point. He did collect the wave. It's going to be pushing back to Morgan. But Castle had the ability to counterpick, had his flash force there in the 1v1. And it's just looking rough. I mean, they can't even walk up to the tower, really. Jose's coming, and if Sajed tries to enter, he's going to die.
Yep, looks like Cryro will at least make his way in here as well. Level 7 on the Aatrox, so he is pretty strong. Goes forward, looks for the Darkened Blade. Josedeodo is going to be your target, but Lyonz dies first, and Jose just throws up the shield. Now the smite on Cryro as he tries to get his way. The World Ender is used, but no, Yeon's got the chase. The Crescendum is so powerful in these situations. Once you have all those Chakrams stacked up, there's nothing the enemy can do about it. And Team Liquid, can they even get Sajed here? Probably not, but man, it's just another point of pain here in the bot lane.
Yeah, Sajed is not having a good time as we see the ult coming out of QUID.
Ooh, nice, and the 2 turret shots as well as Callme tries to get away. One more hit will take him down, but Callme survives for now, has about 20 HP remaining, is using the potion, trying to heal up, wants to see if maybe he can get away on this one, goes for the TP, and Callme calls it quits in the enemy jungle, manages just barely to get home.
Callme escapes, but still a massive win for TL, going immediately from that bot side play into QUID, pushing up. As we see, CoreJJ has just been such a problem, and I was a little concerned for TL with the level lead that Cryra has, but Lyonz immediately gets stunned up and dropped as he goes in. Cryra gets polymorphed, and all the chakrams coming out of Yeon just kill off Cryra.
Yeah, and I mean, while you do have a level lead there for Cryra, the problem is Lyonz is less than half HP, has to use the heal before he even goes in, and Sajed was level 4 to level 6 on the Aphelios, so it's like, there's just no damage behind that engage. I don't blame them for going for it because it was looking completely doomed. If you can't walk up to your tower at this point of the game, you just can't play the game. And unfortunately, that's the situation that they are in, now down about 1K. The buy for Sajed is looking rough, and it is going to be a really tough game to be able to kind of claw back. It's feeling very similar to Game 2 to me.
DSG are trying to maintain a little bit of control around this bottom side river if they can. They secure another scuttle. Cryra tries to steal away some camps there, looking at the enemy chickens. Sajed, again, just forced back. The Lucian having to run away from Lulu because Lulu is just straight up stronger is not good tidings.
No. He did hit level 6 now.
Hey, QUID manages to just slide away here from Cryra, and this is kind of what you were talking about earlier, right, Azael? With the Aatrox, he needs setup. It's hard for him to just walk into the lane and try to make something happen.
Yeah, and Jose might have been looking for a play on that bot side. Jose has just kind of been everywhere with this Pantheon. I really, really love how he's approached playing this out with his lanes, even with that kind of level lead sacrifice that he was making.
And I think it's just one of these situations where you have to recognize your role in the game, right? You have Aphelios, Azir, Lulu. Like, you have a lot of scaling, a lot of damage. Your job on the Pantheon is to enable them, to set them up for success. So if you have to drop farm to be able to put them in a better situation, that is worth doing. Jose is behind them once again, and Aatrox is not here, so...
Yeah, there's the wild growth. Lyonz is locked up. He's out of there. Josedeodo on a killing spree, and Yeon has the Infernum yet again to fast shove the waves. Sajed's trying to cull the wave down just to keep himself alive, but the culling can only take out the front line of the minions. Now Jose and Core can just walk on up. It's that easy. Another kill over to Josedeodo.
This is absolute decimation coming out of TL on this bot side of the map. Because I thought QUID might be looking for another potential ult there. Doesn't go for it. Takes a lot of damage.
Callme's like, don't worry, guys, I'm up 6 CS. How are your lanes going?
Just that nightmare situation where you feel like your lane's going well, you press tab. You really wish you didn't press tab. Now we've got the ulti coming in the mid lane from Josedeodo. Flashes towards Callme, goes for the stun. Needs a little bit more damage to secure the kill. Won't quite find it here just yet. Comet Spear collides, but he doesn't have the damage.
Nicely done there by Lyonz. Good roam, covers his mid laner, so doesn't have to use the flash. And Kyra gonna get pushed back. I mean, QUID is low. They are kind of hanging around, but I just don't think that DSG have the ability to actually get access to him. So it will just be the pushed wave. And you can see Yeon already has the Storm Razor, so the move speed gonna be ramping up quite a bit now too.
Yeah, both mid laners chunked, but importantly, QUID has his teleport available, and Callme does not because he had to use it earlier to get away when he was behind enemy lines. So this should be some pretty easy setup around the Drake for TL if that's what they want to go for. DSG is trying to burn it down fast before that can happen, but QUID has already made his way back into the mid lane, and Kryra and the rest of DSG are going to have to seriously consider how badly they want this Drake. Kryra's still hanging around, but here goes Josedeodo immediately starting up the fight. He's taking a ton of damage. Shield keeps him alive a little bit longer as Lyonz goes in for the engage. Jose is low, but he is not dead here just yet. Finally shut down. Goes up to DSG and Lyonz. QUID is in the middle of everybody, but they still don't have the damage to get the kills. Yeon goes forward, but it's a double kill for Lyonz. Yeon is down to 50 HP, trying to heal up here on the Aphelios. CoreJJ right next to him wants to try to keep his carry protected. Nice use of the wild growth to deny the crash down, but the kill still comes through. DSG. It was looking so bleak, but they found themselves a fight. Now Core is trapped in the enemy jungle. Lyonz looking to lock him up, but he misses Shattering Strike. Callme takes the kill, and DSG aren't done fighting just yet.
Great job there by DSG being able to find something off the back of this Pagoda moment. We can watch it one more time, as it felt like Yeon and Core were a little bit disjointed from where Jose was. Jose is very far up. All 4 members from DSG are hitting him the whole time, and Yeon didn't feel comfortable to move up because Lyonz still had his ult. He gets flashed on there. Then you're thinking, all right, well, maybe Yeon can take over now, but QUID on the side dies to Sajed as well as Lyonz. And you know, then you're in this situation where you're in this kind of 2v3. I feel like they played it really well. The timing on the wild growth was great, and then Core moves in front to try to block the culling, but that just stacks you up for the shockwave.
Yeah, and that's absolutely huge for DSG, who are looking pretty out of this game going into it, taking advantage of a really split fight, right? Like, not only was Yeon not able to get in, but QUID was off on the side, a bit separated from his team as well. And now we'll see what they're able to do with it. But most importantly, I mean, they do secure... oh no, the Drake wasn't taken, never mind.
Well,
I'm crazy.
Sajed is no longer a minion at the very least. Like he has an item.
He has Kraken Slayer.
He's been upgraded, so at least your AD carry is online. It's still a bad spot, but we'll see.
Yeah, QUID going in for the Emperor's Divide. Looks for Callme here. Takes him down to about half HP. As you can see, Josedeodo making his way forward, but Kryra has also arrived. DSG, they're gonna get another one. Team Liquid is playing sloppy with their lead, and it's DSG punishing.
Nicely done by Callme. He just kind of kited it out. He is actually at a really strong point now. He has the tier 3 boots. He has his Ludens completed off the back of that last fight. So he has now the biggest individual lead of the game. He's actually more ahead than Yeon is over Sajed.
Now CoreJJ getting caught here too. Plenty of CC, and the culling has enough damage right behind it. Jose jumps into the back, wants to find the kill onto Sajed, but the Pantheon alone does not have a ton of damage. It's a double kill to Sajed. Team Liquid has thrown the lead.
And now Sajed is up in gold after that, which is a lot of really weird mistakes coming out of TL, and DSG being able to punish, getting their carries, most importantly Sajed, back in the game.
As a fan of both, you know, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, I really love some Kung Fu movies, and I appreciate TL reenacting the bad villains in those, walking in one at a time to fight the hero.
To get their butt kicked.
Exactly. Just, you know, Core go first, he'll see what's up. All right, you know, you took me down. Now, it's going to be Jose's turn. What can Jose do against our hero? And it's looking like not much, unfortunately, for him, as TL, you know, some pretty big mistakes, honestly. You know, QUID dies for free mid, and then you have multiple deaths bot.
He can't find me. He can't find me.
Yeah,
right,
man.
He can't.
True.
Yeah, this was a 3,000 gold lead for Team Liquid earlier. It is now a 1,000 gold lead for Disguised. An absolutely massive throw, and it's just crazy.
Look at the CS difference bot, by the way, and you're up 83 gold. It's like, hey guys, I'm up 40 CS on my enemy bot laner at 15 minutes. Oh, you're ahead on gold? Well, no.
Wow, okay, so DSG, we talked earlier back in like the first couple of games about how Team Liquid was getting more from their punishes, but in this third game, that is absolutely not the case. DSG has done a great job getting back into this game. They've got both of the early Drakes here so far. We'll see if they can continue finding more plays, as CoreJJ and Yeon could be in a little bit of danger here, but Lyonz isn't close enough to catch anybody. Yeon has the Ghost to give himself enough distance to stay safe here on the Aphelios. I think Sajed might just get to his second item first. Callme gets caught though. Josedeodo and QUID looking to kill off the Orianna, but they can't quite get there. Lyonz comes in with the heal, keeps Callme protected. Yeon off the side, but now a massive engage coming out from Lyonz. That was beautiful from disguise. Josedeodo now in danger as well as they try to chase after him. Make this a 3-kill affair. Triple kill over to Cryra's Aatrox.
And now this Aatrox is going to be a massive problem as we see him going after Yeon a little bit. Morgan is able to clean up this tier 1 turret on the top side, but these fights are all now DSG, and a lot of it is the little Lyonz redemption arc on this Rell, the pick that they saved as the final pick to round out this composition. Jose and QUID think they're going to be able to get onto Callme. He is the strongest point on this, but then here we go, Lyonz in immediately. Great Rell engage.
You know what I don't get is I was like, okay, there's a ward. They were on a ward the whole time. I thought, my initial assumption was, oh, they must have thought that the Orianna and the Rell backed off. They were on a ward. This is the ward. They saw him the whole time.
This Team Liquid decision-making in Game 3 is feeling like some solo queue stuff, man. Well, there's a guy with a different colored health bar on my screen. I should probably click him. Like, I don't feel like there's a greater plan here. It's just completely crazy. TL are going to start up the Rift Herald now, see if they can acquire the additional power to maybe regain control over the game through this objective. And DSG is not going to contest for it. Instead, just pushing out mid, pushing out bot. Herald goes over to TL.
The most deadly Rell engage is the scene one.
Yeah.
As we see DSG continuing to kind of bully Morgan out of this bot side, try to get some damage further onto this tier 1. But yeah, I mean, now DSG are in a really, really good spot. We'll see if TL are able to do anything with this Rift Herald. They still do have this Aphelios who will be a problem. So now it's all about, okay, regroup, chill out, like Yeon said, take it slow, you know, in game 1, and try to protect him, because now you have Cryra at 4-2-2. This Aatrox is going to be massive coming into team fights. Lyonz has been on point with these Rell engages, and Callme has a really great ball delivery system from that.
And I think TL are pretty lucky that Morgan is having such a stellar 1v1, right? Because he got counterpicked. And he's up 1.5K, and they are down as a team 1.6K. Like, this would be, even if he was even, they'd be down 3K, right? And if he was losing to the counterpick, which is kind of what your expectation is, they could be completely out of the game. So credit to him. But it is kind of this redemption story that you're talking about for Lyonz. And we had kind of touched on it, you know, how he had been performing, you know, before the Sentinel series versus kind of in the Sentinel series. You know, stats don't always tell this whole story with Sentinels, or with the Sentinel series and with supports in general. But you know, he definitely was not on form, and it's nice to see him having a good game on the row.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we see TL dropping the Rift Herald. They have been able to take down this entire outer ring of turrets using the Gnar and then the Rift Herald in mid. So that's at least solid for them. And again, we'll be looking to see what they want to do with their next team fight, because if they give that Drake up, DSG will be on soul point.
All right, DSG, let's see if you can maintain that control. And for TL, I want to see them have some coordination. It has just felt completely haphazard, these previous few fights that they've taken. People jumping in alone, going in after different targets. The timing feels off. Sajed going to walk up here in mid lane. Quick Ardent Blaze onto Yeon, walks back away. Just a nice, quiet distraction while they begin the Drake down here. TP's coming in. Morgan wants to be a part of this fight. This could be the big X factor here for Team Liquid, but Morgan's the only one going in at first. Narbar mostly charged. Cryra's already secured the Drake, and DSG's just going to walk away.
And if they're able to walk away without even needing the TP from Castle, that is a huge win. Yeon is trying to kind of section them off, see if he can find anything.
Okay, Yeon does hit him there with the Moonlight Vigil, but Blast Cone over the wall, they're safe.
And the big thing was it looked like TL took too long to set up that play, right? Because you saw Morgan waiting in base. It was a matter of not if he was going to TP, but when and what kind of flank they were looking for to try to get this Gnar involved, time it around the Gnar bar, and they just weren't able to do it. DSG immediately go in, pick up that Drake, and now they're on Soul Point, Infernal Soul too.
They're looking really, really strong. And I mean, I understand why TL thought, hey, maybe we can actually look for this because Morgan just hit 2 items, Jose's already in 2 items, IE just got completed for Yeon. But their mid lane is kind of out of the game as well, which is really, really difficult. You already have the 2 completed items, Shadow Flame as well as the Ludens on one side here. And then you look over at the other and you have the Oblivion Orb, like some little pieces at the end, but basically it's just Nashers and some trash, right? Like,
right.
It's QUID is having a rough one in this game.
And meanwhile, across the aisle, Callme is not playing vegetarian Orianna. This dude is out here just eating burger after burger. Shadow Flame plus Luden's Echo, those shockwaves are just going to eradicate whoever they hit.
Yep, and as we see them kind of setting up.
Oh, Sajed trying to get away from this one. That's a big catch for TL. Josedeodo makes it happen, but what can they get afterwards?
It would be risky to start up the Baron here. I mean, it's only 22 minutes into the game, but TL, I think at the very least, want to bait it. They want to try to clear out vision. They haven't actually swept out that one ward in the pit, though, so DSG well aware of what's going on. And remember, Baron, that big debuff could mean problems if Callme can get him behind them. He's behind.
Okay, Callme looking for it, has to flash away to try to escape. Morgan now going to be your target. DSG trying to go after the Gnar. Kryra's stuck in the middle of everybody. The burst is plenty enough, and DSG lose their jungler. Now they've got to scatter. Morgan's still alive. Nice engage coming out from Lyonz, but there is no follow-up. DSG's trying to kill off Yeon, but they don't have the damage to do it. Castle goes back in, but he falls. Josedeodo gets the kill on the Jax, and now DSG have got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like Callme got a little bit too clever there, you know, trying to come in from the other angle. He lost his flash early, and then he couldn't really connect with the rest of the team. And even though there's this great re-engage from Lyonz, it just didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't really follow up with a lot of damage, as we see this again where Callme is separated from the fight. Kryra goes in. Morgan is actually able to get a really nice stun against the wall to take out Kryra there.
Now, so watch Callme's Shockwave here. So obviously he's super strong. We talked about that. He has the rank 2 Shockwave. They go for the re-engage. He gets the ball in on Lyonz. It only connects on the Gnar. So not able to really hit much of anything there. And I just feel like if he was on the same side of the fight with the Rell, it's a completely different game, right? You're very likely to be able to get a multi-man Shockwave. And unfortunately for him, couldn't find it.
All right, TL back in the lead now, plus 2,000 gold. Morgan chasing after Lyonz. Team Liquid invading the enemy jungle, seeing if they can set up any picks, just like they've done in the previous 2 games. Less than 2 minutes on the clock until that Dragon Soul will spawn for Disguise. That one is going to be absolutely massive for TL to contest, but TL's not willing to wait. They want to contest Baron right now. Still 90 seconds until that Drake spawns. DSG is in the neighborhood, looking to see if they can take the fight. Infernal chains onto Morgan, but he walks out of the side. DSG still on the approach. You can see Castle looking for the flank as QUID has to dash away from Sajed. Turret destroyed in the meantime over there in the mid lane. And we're just chilling. Okay, no fight.
Yeah, no fight. Jose now has opened up a really big gold lead for himself, and even off that early fight, Kryra got a lot of kills, completed his second item, but Jose has been stalwart throughout this game, has been great really the whole way through, and now completes the GA, so he is super, super strong. QUID is just going for a defensive build. He's just going to go for the Seekers because I think he realizes the game's not about him at all at this point, which is going to make it more difficult for Callme. You know, you can react to that Shockwave, throw down the Stasis. It's just about, can TL keep Yeon safe and keep him hitting? Because I think if they can, they're going to be set up for success.
Yeah, and that's where I'm also still going to be looking at Jose, especially with this GA locked in for him on the next fight. And they did pull that TP off of the Jax, right? So it's going to take him much longer time to walk up to this as they return to the Baron.
Yep, Yeon's got the Chakrams here too. Look at how many of them he has stacked up. DSG still trying to approach, but the Baron is already gone. Team Liquid claim the objective. Yeon still looking for an opportunity to put those Chakrams to good work. DSG's not going to give it to him, but now DSG can make a beeline straight for the Drake pit.
Yeah, they can go for the Dragon, and this could be Soul, so that's actually not a good trade for TL if they do end up losing this, and it looks like they are likely to. Yeon is just going to go topside, so they get the Baron. As long as DSG can actually hold out through this Baron buff, they're going to be really happy. And again, it was just a weird fight because Callme is not with the team. He's trying to come around on these flanks. He ends up actually TPing just into the Baron pit, but the fight was already over. They do, though, get the soul at the end of the day, and it's going to be this injection of gold for TL. But for this to be worth it, they have got to get so much gold. I know, talking to Freak, he estimated the value, the gold value of souls around 6,000 plus gold. So that is a lot, right? There is stats on the Baron. There is a little bit of a gold injection on the Baron, but like, I don't think they should be able to end the game with the Baron by any means. And now you have Infernal Soul on this super fed Orianna. If that Shockwave combo hits, you could be cooked.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt. Seeker's Arm Guard, we already mentioned it being available for the Azir, but the Orianna also having that defensive tool. So Callme can hopefully feel safer, positioning and posturing aggressively so that he can find high value on these Shockwaves, combo them there with Lyonz so they can get that huge wombo combo that really will make their team fight sing.
Yeah, and now the question is going to be, okay, how well can TL kind of set the map in their favor with this Baron buff, right? Try to push out side waves. We've seen the Gnar in that bot lane kind of constantly pushing up that wave. Lyonz is going to get spotted out here.
Yeah, Lyonz looking for QUID, who immediately just shuffles him back over the wall. The Azir still doing a solid amount of damage. TL going to group back up here. Pantheon ulti diving way into the back lines here, trying to finish off Lyonz and Kryra. Lyonz in some serious danger, does have to use the crash down defensively. Team Liquid putting the pedal to the metal here with their Baron. They've still got 60 seconds left on this, and they're using it to go down mid.
And initially, I thought Jose was going to go in way too deep, but the follow-up from Morgan was really good. Hit the Gnar bar at the exact right time. Kind of makes DSG have to scatter so they can brute force this mid-tier 2. Hopefully link up now with QUID, who's been pushing up this bot wave, and try to make a play on this bot side tier 2.
Yeah, they want to at least get this bot side tier 2. There's 37 seconds left on that Baron buff. QUID could get caught by Shockwave.
Nice Shockwave there, but can QUID escape? DSG trying to chase after the enemy mid laner. They hit the Darkened Blade. He uses the Seeker's Arm Guard, but he will not escape. Callme gets the kill, and Disguised get the pick.
Nicely done. Disguised getting another pick there. So it is just the 3.4k gold lead at the end of the day with that Baron buff. They're not going to get anything more, but again, you know, around 6,000-ish gold of stats, you know, with that soul, that is essentially what that is valued at. Of course, it is different for every team comp. It depends on how easily you can apply, you know, this soul buff, how easily you can apply the damage. But it is going to be quite powerful. And, you know, DSG are not in a bad spot. So TL didn't really get enough with that Baron for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah, they weren't able to get kind of that tier 2 bot that they were prepping for. They did knock down the tier 2 in mid, but you know, all inhib turrets and 2 tier 2s actually are still standing. They pretty much just only added that mid tier 2 because they'd already had the outer ringer of turrets down for a while.
I will say, though, Castle has had basically zero effect on this entire game. Like, he is scaling, you know, he is getting levels, but he's not seeming to really get a lot of gold, hasn't been able to catch up at all. He's down almost 3k individually. Like, that is basically the entire lead is just Morgan. So, you know, if DSG can fight where Morgan and Castle are in a side lane, that is a great fight for you. So, to me, your job becomes when you're getting slammed in a side lane like this, you just try to draw that guy to you, and you're just running at towers, trying to force them to respond, because if I'm not there and you're not there, it's way better for my team when I'm behind.
Right, the 4v4 for Disguised is very, very scary looking. QUID still very far behind the pace of the game himself here on the Azir, but Morgan with the 3 fully completed items on the Gnar is absolutely massive. See if he face checks into the brush here. Does take a quick burst of damage, but he's just about got the Gnar bar charged, so he continues just running straight at them, and DSG back away as Castle makes his way back out onto the map. He's on the flank here with a blast cone, but he does need to be a little bit mindful. Jose hits him with a very small amount of poke. Sun Disc will be destroyed here in the mid lane. TL have lost Morgan's Mega Gnar for now. DSG might look for their opportunity to go in, but it's a ton of burst on the Callme. He's already dead! QUID takes the kill, and DSG have to try to fight without their mid laner. Sajed forced off to the side of the fight at the same time, as now Kryra is down. Lyonz will follow. TL just killed 4.
TL were constantly trying to look for these angles onto Callme, finally get one there. I love how they've been playing around Morgan specifically, always looking for these flanks. And yeah, now they're might be pushing for the end.
Yeah, the death timers are long. It's 20 seconds until anybody else is back up. It's only Sajed to try to defend this. The Lucian, who had such a struggle early game, will not be able to hold the line. Team Liquid, it was a messy game number 3, but they make their way onto the Nexus turrets. They will clean sweep Disguised, and they will move forward, continuing their march towards first stand.
A little blip on the radar in game 3. It got a little messy, but game 1 and game 2, super dominant, and TL, at the end of the day, show their class in the team fight. It just felt like they split up that fight, one on both sides. They get this great engage, and they one-shot Callme. And on the other side, Yeon was just confidently walking forward, forcing them to engage on him. He has summoners, flashes back with the protection of CoreJJ, and all of a sudden, everything has been lost on both sides of the fight there for DSG.
Yeah, and I love how they use their coordination to kind of bait out these fights. That's something we've been talking about with TL, right? Like, we want to see how well coordinated this team could be as they take a bow and will move on in the lower bracket.
I mean, if you're Team Liquid, you should be so happy with the early game of this game number 3 because it looked like they were just set up for success from minute 1. Everything in the mid-game needs VOD review on top of VOD review, and I'm sure that's where they're going to go. But right now, we're joining Jat on stage for an interview.